Chapter 32. Mr. Blue kissed the hand of a gorgeous, Rubenesque blonde.
Apologies, dear, for the intrusion.
He peered around at the set of the 7-year-old itch, then back down at the busty leading lady.
Do you think Mr. Wayne will be around here at the studio later on?
Marilyn Monroe pulled her hand away, still wiping coffee from her script. She'd splashed some of the hot beverage due to a half-crazed lunatic in an azure suit barging into the middle of the set during private rehearsals and running into her elbow. She sighed. How would I know where the fat misogynist is? Try asking his agent. The stranger nodded absently and stared at his watch.
So, I'll have to cut through some more sets if I want to catch him.
Excuse me? The legendary actress cum model said. Can you go now? Suddenly, Mr. Blue was bounding off, a childlike grin hugging his visage. Marilyn watched him disappear out a side door at the precise moment that RKO security guards arrived. Quite coincidental. One of the rent-a-cops, out of breath, managed to ask, Did you see a troublemaker in a dark blue outfit pass by here? Ma'am? No idea. Miss Monroe lit a cigarette. You're gonna want to get the hell out of here. I'm trying to work. The director walked over to shoo them off. Close set, gentlemen. If you're looking for a wild goose chase, go see the animators. They're working on the new cartoon. I think it's called Wild Goose Chase. The guards grumbled in protest, but quickly wandered off. Norma Jean lit a cigarette. Sorry, doll, the director said. Look, with all these damn interruptions. Marilyn Monroe sipped her rum and coffee. Do you think we can just go back to one? The time traveler in the cobalt outfit ran nimbly in and out of the bustling Hollywood studio back lot, dodging fruit stands, bike messengers, and movers carrying plate glass. He ducked behind a coffee shop facade and checked his temporal wrist device. More security on the way. He realized he certainly didn't need to announce his presence, as RKO was now well aware of it, much to their chagrin. Mr. Blue leered as their footfalls passed by. He overheard their master strategy, which consisted of, You go that way, I'll go this way. A moment later, the alien stepped out of the bright Southern California sun, took note of his surroundings, then strode over to the exit-only marked door. With a wave of his watch, the door opened. He grinned. Inside the set of this unknown film, it was nearly pitch black. Lightning suddenly flashed from stagehands shaking flashlights overhead, dully reflecting on the stone walls, carved from foam rubber. The Time Lord realized he didn't have time to stand around watching as another low-budget horror film was hammered out for the Saturday afternoon crowd. Once again, he ran across another movie, disrupting everything. An actor, playing a torture victim, looked up from where he was chained to a metal table. What the? Only to see a platinum-haired alien speed by. Cut! A mustache-clad director shot up from his chair. He threw his French-style beret on the floor, irate. Back to the interior, Zoomsat! Who the hell is this asshole? After jumping the table and ducking around a corner, Mr. Blue ran face first into a furry dummy. The stagehands had begun wheeling out a large wax and hair werewolf, and Traveler, of course, plowed straight into it.
What is with me and polymorph lupines?
One of the grips were impatient. Hey, move it, buddy. We're trying to get a prop into frame.
7 bloody hells!
Mr. Blue shouted. He thought about how he'd be perfectly happy if he never again saw another werewolf for the rest of his entire 10,000-year lifespan, fake or not. Funny how things work out. He shoved top of the fake wax statue over a top of stagehands. Mr. Blue noted that his temporal wrist device was beeping, letting him know his quarry would soon be out of range. As the alien sped across the rest of the set, he wasn't privy to the stream of adult-only adjectives trailing behind him. John Wayne drove past the last curb of the studio property, slowing, then stopping at the red traffic signal. Already, this morning he'd been complained to by his agent, pestered by Dick Powell, and had his only reliable parking space invaded. Damnable day. Damnable day indeed. The Duke rubbed his eyes. As his car idled at the stoplight, he took a moment to remove his cowboy hat and run his fingers through his thinning, sweaty, sandy hair. Then he seriously contemplated going for bourbon. Bourbon or tequila? But was it too early? Bah! It was close enough to 11. Yanked from his reverie, Wayne was startled at the loud slam of his car's passenger side door. Out of nowhere, suddenly, seated right next to him, was a young buck in a navy-hued suit with buzz-cut hair, the color of Marilyn's.
Mr. Wayne,
Son, just don't. I'm not in the mood for a press release or...
Well, I wanted to...
Look, kid, no autographs. Been a lousy enough day so far.
That's what I wanted to apologize about. Your parking spot.
The Duke slowly peered over at the stranger in blue.
Huh?
Traveler said,
Earlier, before you arrived, I had the prop master bring up the old British phone booth from the storage, you know.
Believe me, I noticed. That was my spot. You're lucky I don't.
I wanted to make it up to you.
The Time Lord exclaimed.
I'm new in town. I have no idea that...
Obviously.
What gave me away? The accent.
You sound limier than a citrus party.
Okay. I had no idea it was your space. Let's say I make it up to you.
Irascible Western film veteran nodded very slowly. Possible. Tell me what you have in mind. Mr. Blue grinned like the Cheshire Cat.
Let's get a drink. I'm buying. Any strip clubs around here?
Now, it was John Wayne's turn to smile. Partner, you've gotten my complete attention.